Hello, Jamie from Inky&Scrappy, sharing with you today my Craft Roulette Challenge make for number 180. If you haven't played Craft Roulette yet, go give it a shot. It's kind of fun. I will link it below. So I'm bringing in the new Wild Wolves stamp set from Fawn. I'm keeping this one fairly super simple for me. I also needed to bring in the word good and the little word bark because those were part of the challenge ones. So for the challenge, the project is supposed to be a project with a card with a belly band. So what is a better belly band than around a coffee cup? So I brought in Trinity Stamps Summertime Sips die set, and I cut it out of a 4-bar card, so it was already folded. Made sure that my die was off of the folded edge a little bit, ran that through the die cut machine, and then I ran it through again on a solid sheet of paper. So you get a little card here, and then you get the card front. So this one will fit into a 4-bar size envelope. So it's kind of a mini card for me today. And so I'm going to glue on my card front and, keep on moving, right? This one actually only took me about 30 minutes to create on camera after I had my die cut pieces and my paper. I cut my paper strips and my die cut pieces beforehand. So really it probably took me about 45 minutes. 5 of those minutes was me trying to find my die from Trinity Stamps. I knew I had it, I just couldn't find it. Because, I put it away where it belonged. Hence, it's life. So the color combos for today's card are supposed to be Daisy Field. So what colors do you think of when you think of Daisy Field? So my initial thought was white and green, and well then blue skies and brown dirt. And so, but my favorite flower is a Gabera daisy. I really love the pink and the reds, and I think they have a purple one too. I usually can never find the purple ones. And they have the yellows and the oranges. And so I had pulled in the orange and the yellow. So this pattern paper is from Fawn as well. Pretty sure this one is Sweater Weather Remix in the 6x6. But the colors went perfectly with what I was doing today. So my image is going to sit on that little tiny circle that is going to be on my coffee cup. Kind of, I don't want to say Starbucks inspired with the image on the cup, but that was kind of, where I was going with the little belly band. Was going to have my image on it. So I just made a little tiny scene on my little circle there. It's cute, I probably should have gone with a straight hilly border die on, or border stencil on the bottom there instead of the grass, because when I add my puppy dog to, well, my wolf, but we're calling it a puppy today, on this one, he kind of looks really little compared to the grass, but it's all right. So for the element on this one, the element was good. Good. So obviously good dog, but of course I just had to find a sentiment with the word good in it. So I brought in the Yappy Birthday stamp set from Fawn as well. And that one says, have a howling good time. And then of course with that Yappy Birthday stamp set, it also has the word bark. And I will use that a little later on to finish up my random for my Craft Roulette card. So I ended up pulling in the bigger puppy here, or wolf here, instead of the 2 little wolves, which I had originally planned on doing. But I thought this one would fit well, and it looks like it is making some noise or howling or something. So it kind of went with my sentiment. So for my coloring, I'm just pulling in some Ohuhu markers that are sitting on my desk, which I put them all away yesterday. So yeah, I'm going to have to dig them all back out again when it's time to color next time. I also brought in some yellow grays here. I maybe should have gone with the yellow grays in total, but I wanted to keep my colors matching with my papers. And so I ended up going with the brown. I don't know if there's brown wolves. I know in Minnesota we have gray wolves, like the great gray wolf is kind of the whole thing. But I went with brown. Maybe it's just the coloring of the day. It looks brown. I was unimpressed with my coloring of the lighter shade here because I was trying to do the yellow gray, thinking it was kind of have a brown tone to it, and I did some tip to tip, and it just wasn't overly smooth. I probably could have worked it a little bit more with my hoo-hoos and gotten it to smooth out a little bit better. But in the end, after I'm done cutting it out, I just bring in a Copic number 74 and go over the whole thing because it was just faster and at the tip of my fingers. So if you have not played Craft Roulette yet, let me tell you a little bit about it. It's like an improv card making challenge that Mary Gun Fun does live every Friday night, or most Friday nights. I guess it might not be every Friday night. She's allowed to have vacation here and there. And so I end up watching the replay now just because my youngest is a senior in high school, and so he starts football, and so I have to be there Friday nights. It's so, hopefully I will get back to watching it live again when football season ends in November sometime. But until then, I will try my best to get, a creation done on a Saturday. So I was trying not to see what the parameters were because I like to do it on the fly. When she spins them, I like to think of it right away. But of course, if you're on social media at all and you're on the Craft Roulette Challenge blog, or not blog, page on Facebook, you see the entries starting to come in. So I did kind of get a couple of ideas on what my parameters were. So I did have a little bit of think time to work on the thought process part of it. And I did end up just fussy cutting because I didn't want the white border. So instead of running it over to my brother's Scan and Cut, which would have taken me a little bit more time anyways, I just hand cut it out. This one wasn't horrible bad to do, and if I'm not doing a border on them, I don't mind doing fussy cutting because, you have your line there anyways. And I kind of like the look of this one without the little white border on it with, the little medallion style scene that it goes onto. So yeah, once I was cutting it and I was looking at it and I was just not in love with my blending on the brown to the gray. And so that, I think it was number 74 or E074, whatever it is. Anyways, I liked that one. And then of course I brought in my jelly roll pen here in the black glaze. So it kind of gives that black glazy look. And then of course the little mouth I decided needed to have a little as well. And I needed a little tongue. So I did bring in a red glitter, I think it's a bright glitter jelly pen as well to add the little tongue inside of his little mouth so he's, making some noise. So I'll bring in my little circle that I already did and I will just glue him on top there, trying to avoid the little area that is still wet. And then I'm going to add a little bit of white onto his nose to make it look extra shiny. And then I'll just do some little white detail here. I don't do these a whole lot, probably because I struggle with where the little white detail should go. But it turned out all right. So for my final element on here, the random was bark. So you could do bark as in a tree. I guess I could have done brown bark as in like the brown could have been like the bark from when you do, but that's not really bark, that's wood chips. Anyways. So I decided the little puppy was going to be barking, and therefore the word bark worked just fine to fill that one. And then to finish this one up, I am actually stamping on the inside. So I decided to complete the outside sentiment into the inside with "on your birthday." And the little belly band goes on top of my little coffee cup to complete it. This way I can tuck a little gift card inside if I so choose. It works. Anyways, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Keep getting inky and go check out Craft Roulette with Mary Fun Gun. It's a pretty good time.